KirkFrost and KarlieRedd were never supposed to be together again after years of unresolved tension and controversy, let alone in the midst of a scandal that has shocked love and hip-hop lovers alike. However, rumors are already circulating. And it's not just messy, it might be explosive. Awkward situations. Karlie made a surprising admission that has caused a stir throughout the series. She informed a limited number of people. She then hinted on social media that she might be expecting. And the father says it's Kirk. However, it did not end there. Kirk lost control after hearing her confession. Some claim voices were raised. Others said it grew violent. The most alarming charge of all is that Kirk apparently smacked Karlie during a heated argument, shocking everyone. None of this was broadcast. Although there isn't any footage yet, insiders say that producers had to intercede and that everyone is now working on cleaning up the mess before the reunion. So, what truly happened that day? Was it simply a heated debate? Or did someone finally lose it under the weight of lies and betrayal, which all started on a dreary afternoon in Atlanta? According to insiders, a private meeting between KarlieRedd and KirkFrost took an unexpected turn. There were no cameras or microphones there, just two people with a lot of history, sitting face to face in a parking lot behind a studio. Fans were already ecstatic after Karlie delivered a mystery message the night before, stating that some truths cannot be hidden forever, no matter how painful. However, nobody knew what she meant until a few hours later, when rumors began. According to insiders, Karlie unexpectedly arrived at the studio and insisted on speaking with Kirk alone. What happened behind the closed door? Some claim it began gently, with old fires rekindling, while others say it swiftly flared up the instant she told him something. Kirk was taken aback by the revelation that she might be pregnant and that the child she thought she had was hers. He sat still and stared at her as if she had gone nuts. How can that even be possible? I inquired. Karlie refused to back down. According to sources, she stated that it happened during one of their peaceful times before he made amends to Rasheeda. She said she wasn't making threats and was just being honest, but her honesty didn't go well. Planned. Kirk allegedly raged. "You always come with a mess when I'm finally at peace," accusing Karlie of attempting to destroy his marriage by reviving previous conflicts to remain relevant. Nobody expected what occurred next. Someone near to the incident claimed they heard it, but no one witnessed it, so the rumor spread swiftly. One crew member who talked off the record claimed they were told not to talk about it, but within hours, the media discovered it. A post on a gossip blog implying a fight amongst fans sparked a deluge of comments demanding explanations. Had Kirk actually gone that far? The family has faced storms before, including love triangles, adultery scandals, and even public DNA testing. However, if Kirk had touched Karlie, the situation would have been different, dangerous, and unpleasant. If that was false, why hadn't anyone disputed it? Meanwhile, Rasheeda remained mute, far too silent, and people began to wonder what she knew and why she hadn't spoken out, because if the rumors were even partially true, it meant her husband had secrets he hadn't revealed or confessed, and worse, he might have gone so far that she couldn't forgive. Back in the studio, tensions rose. Security footage from outside the building supposedly saw Kirk departing alone, his face contorted in displeasure, while Karlie was spotted minutes later holding her face as she was taken to her car by a friend. The video was private, but someone watched it. According to a popular blog, Karlie appeared physically and emotionally injured. After that day, Karlie stopped posting on social media. There were no tweets, tales, or shades that entirely disappeared, which is odd for someone like her. I saw that her previous post before to the meeting was loaded with an intriguing emotion. However, she was silent for a week before returning with a post that surprised her followers. It was a blurry ultrasound image that was submitted to her. Narrative minutes before being withdrawn with no explanation or caption, but it was sufficient. Screenshots from Karlie's pregnancy began spreading like wildfire, and fans connected the dots, slapped rumors, and provoked confrontation. At the same time, Kirk's Instagram was full with cheerful family photos. Rasheeda was playing with the kids as if nothing had happened, but her statements suggested differently. Fans, they swarmed his page with accusations, some demanding the truth, others labeling him a coward. One remark was said, "And if you did, shame on you," loud. While supporters waited for an official response, some assumed she was protecting Kirk. Others assumed she was upset behind the scenes and unsure of what to say. According to someone close to her, she was taken aback. She knew Kirk had a past, but it devastated her. Bloggers began to piece things together following a leaked text exchange between Karlie and a friend in which she wrote, "I didn't want to tell him like that. I was scared, but he needed to know." The text did not mention violence, but it confirmed her pregnancy claim, and all of a sudden, people began to see her not as a villain, but as if nothing could be worse. A Love and Hip Hop producer reportedly approached Karlie after the event and offered to help her fix the matter if she agreed not to press charges. Fans were enraged, claiming that they will defend the men at any costs. Expenses. One tweet stated that Karlie deserves justice, not silence. Meanwhile, new behind the scenes details emerged. According to one source, Karlie had already sought legal counsel, but was told that in the absence of witnesses or video, her word would be considered against his. As a result, she withdraws. While all of this was going on, Kirk and Rasheeda planned a vacation to show the world that their marriage was stronger than ever. However, viewers weren't buying it. Her pals said she felt duped by the show, the system, and even the fans who didn't believe her. "They're attempting to make us forget what happened, but nobody did." In fact, the silence heightened the intensity of the situation. Fans began rewatching prior episodes, highlighting every discussion. The relationship between Kirk and Karlie now felt questionable. "This is damage control," someone said on a blog. She didn't need to say anything else because everyone in the room knew what it meant. The presenter paused before asking, "Is it true that you might be expecting?" Karlie gave a slight nod, and the audience's amazement was immediate. Fans watching from home began. The host asked openly, "Is Kirk the father?" Kirk shuffled in his seat, his jaw tensed. Before the segment had concluded, blowing up Twitter snippets were edited and posted. Karlie did not flinch. "I didn't come here to play games," she explained. "Come here because the truth has been buried long enough." The camera pans to Rasheeda, who remains still. Her fingers gripped the armrest edge so hard that her knuckles looked to protrude, but she kept silent until Kirk spoke. His voice was low, almost hushed, as if he was trying to remain calm. "We don't even know whether that baby is mine," he said. She could say anything. Karlie turned to face him, and their gazes connected. "You and I both realize it's conceivable. Don't lie only to save face." That's when things became heated. Kirk tried to dodge by stating he made a single error that he hardly remembered, but Karlie wouldn't have it. "She begged me to keep it a secret, then snapped. You said you'd take care of things, then you disappeared. Now you're claiming I made it up." The room erupted. Someone murmured to another, muttering few of the cast members who had largely escaped the mess. Everything was falling apart when the unexpected piece arrived. The presenter carefully stated the internet rumors that had been circulating, but it wasn't the smack. But the host asked Kirk, "Do you want to respond to the reports about what happened in the studio last month?" Space hardened. "I'm not going to sit here and gossip." He let out a growl. "People say a variety of things to acquire what they desire." Karlie's voice pierced him like glass, saying, "Is it gossip if I lived it?" I was shivering, weeping, and embarrassed in front of those who had vowed to protect me. The silence was excruciating, and the entire production team remained mute. "Do you want the truth?" Karlie wasn't finished, but one understood whether to cut the scenario or leave it alone. "I approached you as a woman and told you the truth, and you flipped out. You slapped your hand against the table and yelled in my face. And yes, I felt that," she continued, her voice quivering. "Now, although I never said you hit me, I will say you scared me." That phrase remained in the air. It wasn't an allegation, and it wasn't legally harmful, but it was strong, and everyone in the room understood exactly what she was saying without stating it outright. "RASHEA ultimately. What now?" the speaker asked. She said, her voice flat on Kirk's eyes. "Will you keep lying, or will you admit that you've been dragging us both through hell?" After years of unresolved tension and controversy, Kirk did not answer. KarlieRedd and KirkFrost were never supposed to be together again, let alone in the middle of a scandal. Has put Love and Hip Hop fans in complete amazement, but whispers are already spreading, and it may be combustible. Awkward meetings. Karlie made a shocking disclosure that is generating a commotion in the entire franchise. She notified a select group of individuals and then made indications on social media about what she might be expecting, and the father believes it's Kirk. However, It didn't end there, since now there are flooding and Kirk lost control after hearing her confession. Some say voices were raised. Some say it became violent. The most alarming accusation of all is that Kirk allegedly smacked Karlie during a heated moment off, leaving everyone stunned. While there is no footage yet, insiders claim that producers had to interfere and that everyone is currently working to clean up the mess before the reunion. What happened that day? Was it just a heated disagreement? Or did someone finally lose it under the weight of secrets? It's treachery? And it all started one rainy afternoon in Atlanta. According to insiders, when a private meeting between KarlieRedd and KirkFrost took an unexpected turn, there were no cameras or microphones there. Just two people with a lot of history sitting face to face in a parking lot behind a studio. Fans were already excited after Karlie posted a strange message the night before, writing, "Some facts can't be hidden forever, even if it hurts." However, no one knew what she meant until a few hours later, when rumors began. According to insiders, Karlie unexpectedly showed up at the studio and insisted on chatting with Kirk alone. What happened behind that closed door? Some claim it began gently, with old fires rekindling, but some say things immediately heated up the moment she told him something. The news that she might be pregnant and that the child she thought was hers came as a shock to Kirk, who appeared frozen and stared at her as if she had gone nuts. How can that ever be possible? According to accounts, Karlie refused to back down and asserted that it occurred during one of their peaceful times before he made amends with Rasheeda. Kirk allegedly raged, "You always come with mess when I'm finally at peace," accusing Karlie of attempting to end his marriage by rehashing old drama must remain relevant. However, what anyone expected was what happened next. Someone close to the scene said they heard, but no one witnessed it. The rumor immediately spread. One crew member who talked off the record stated they were warned not to discuss it, but within hours, social media discovered it. A post on a gossip site. The Frost family had faced storms in the past, such as love triangles, infidelity scandals, and even public DNA testing. But if Kirk had touched Karlie, it had caused a flurry of comments demanding answers. Rasheeda remained silent, too silent, and people began to wonder what she knew and why she hadn't spoken anything. Since if the allegations were even half true, back at the studio, tensions rose as she realized her husband had secrets he hadn't revealed. Worse, he might have gone too far, something she couldn't forgive. Security footage from outside the building purportedly showed Kirk leaving alone, his face contorted in annoyance, while Karlie was seen minutes later holding her face as she was led to her car by a friend. The video was private, but someone who saw it informed a well-known blog that Karlie appeared physically and emotionally injured. Karlie disappeared from social media after that day, with no tweets, tales, or shade, which is rare for someone like her. Her previous post before the encounter was loaded with and Kirk moved in his seat, his jaw clenched. Blowing up Twitter clips were already being edited and shared before the program even concluded. Karlie didn't flinch. "I didn't come here to play games," she replied. "Come here because the truth has been concealed long enough." The camera switched to Rasheeda, who remained immobile. Her fingers gripped the edge of the armrest so tightly. Her knuckles looked to protrude, but she remained silent until Kirk spoke, his voice low and almost silent, as if he was striving to keep composure. "We don't even know if that baby is mine," he murmured. Karlie turned to face him, and their eyes met. "You and I both know it's possible. Don't lie now just to save face." That's when things became hot. Kirk tried to dodge by stating he made a single mistake that he hardly remembered, but Karlie wouldn't have it. "She begged me to keep it a secret and snapped, 'You said you'd take care of it, and then you vanished. Now you're saying I made it up.'" The room exploded, and someone whispered to another, "He's captured," muttered several of the cast members who had largely avoided the mess. The host asked Kirk, "Do you want to reply to news regarding what happened at the studio last month?" Space hardened. "I'm not going to sit here and entertain rumor," he muttered. "People say all sorts of things to get." Karlie's voice pierced him like glass as she said, "Is it gossip if I lived it?" "I was shaking, crying, and felt ashamed in front of those who pledged to protect me." The silence was agonizing, and even the production team remained silent. "You want the truth?" Karlie wasn't completed, but no one knew whether to cut the scenario or let it go. "I came to you as a woman and told you, flipped out when I told you the truth, slapped your fist on the table, screamed in my face, and yes, I felt that," she said, her voice quivering. "Although I didn't say you hit me, I will say you terrified me." That comment lingered in the air. It wasn't an accusation, and it wasn't illegal, but it was strong, and everyone in the room understood what she was saying without saying it aloud. Rasheeda finally spoke. "What happens now?" She spoke flatly into Kirk's eyes. "Will you continue to lie? Will you admit that you've been dragging us both through hell?" Kirk did not respond. Instead, he simply sat there, his lips compressed, his nose breathing, and the room erupted with emotion. Rasheeda got up. "I've supported you despite your lying, cheating, and having secret children. But now you're sitting here playing like the victim, as if we're insane for calling you out," she added, turning to face him. She then turning to face Karlie. He added, "You should have told me. Not for drama, not for the cameras, but because we're meant to be superior. Now I do," Rasheeda remarked, through tears in her eyes. And just like that, the narrative switched. Karlie nodded. "I wanted to, but I wasn't sure whether you'd believe me." Kirk attempted to speak again, but no one listened. The host announced a break, and cameras cut the picture. The two ladies who had been presented as adversaries and fighting over the same man for years now stood on the same side, not because they had forgiven each other, but because the performers began to shift in their seats. But something else was going on behind the scenes. A producer rushed over to Karlie and whispered in her ear, and when she nodded, the internet picked up on it. They knew Karlie had brought documents, and later that evening, some grainy photographs emerged online that showed a folded package in her lap. Some allege it had to do with DNA, while others believe it was a medical record. In the days following the recording, fans went into full investigation mode, connecting every dot they could find from earlier episodes to confirm the pregnancy and Kirk's involvement. When Kirk ceased posting on social media for 48 hours, which was shot months previously, some requested that VH1 play everything uncensored, while others wanted Kirk removed from the show. Petitions were established, going viral with the hashtags #ProtectKarlie, #KirkFrost, #JusticeForTruth, and finally Carrie posted another video with no filters or glitz, just her speaking directly into the camera, saying, "I didn't ask for this, but I'm not going to hide anymore. I've made mistakes, but I won't be silenced. I came with the truth, and I'm going to keep telling it." When Karlie's video emerged on the timeline, fans instantly flooded the comments with encouragement. Within hours, hundreds of reality TV bloggers, former cast members, and even verified accounts spoke out, and the story that had started out as a one-time rumor was poised to blossom into something much greater. Started posting it again. What began as rumors of Kirk and a slap turned into a public reckoning, and people began to ask more in-depth questions, such as why Karlie was allegedly under pressure to keep quiet, why this film had never been shown, and what role, if any, VH1 and the producers played in keeping everything private. Rumors began to circulate, and they did, since the very next morning, Karlie published a behind-the-scenes video that left many yelling, in which she saw the brief video confirmed what many had suspected. Karlie wasn't performing. She was chatting to a crew worker in a slightly muffled voice, saying, "I don't care if they cut this out. They want me to stay. They should cease protecting him." Was finished being silent. One fan wrote, "This ain't a storyline anymore. This is real." They were right. The problem had changed from entertaining to serious. And fans weren't only responding, they were setting up calls to hold Kirk. And even figures outside of the love and hip-hop world were talking about it. In the thick of it all, Karlie persisted. Accountability led to demands for VH1 to disclose uncut reunion footage, and petitions amassed thousands of signatures. She began performing small interviews with podcast presenters and web channels. She was quiet yet firm, emotional but steady. In one of them, when she stated, "The truth is that I've kept things to myself for too long, and it's made me sick. If I lose everything, at least I spoke my mind," it struck a chord with viewers. "Now, even if things get nasty, I'm choosing peace." Fans showered her with supportive comments, and more celebrities began reposting her messages. Some even offered to assist her in obtaining legal counsel if necessary. However, Kirk remained largely hidden, and the longer he remained silent, the more isolated he became. In a stolen voice recording sent on a private Patreon gossip channel, an unidentified insider stated, "I ordered her not to come to set. I told Messi he'd regret it if she showed up with that pregnancy. The video was unconfirmed, but the timing of the voice appeared suspicious. Within an hour of the memo being online, followers began scrutinizing every word, comparing the tone to earlier interviews and defending Kirk by stating the voice was not his own. Others claimed that it didn't matter, that what mattered was Karlie's attitude toward the way she was treated and her refusal to give up despite everything. Karlie stepped up and refused to reveal all of the specifics, even though some people still doubted her, remained silent. More than anything, this altered how others perceived her. She went from being the messy one with the drama. The network remains silent, drawn to someone who has remained strong in the midst of pandemonium and refused to let anyone alter her narrative. RASHED. She may still be deciding what to do next, but her quiet spoke a lot. It isn't always about standing up for someone. Sometimes it's about taking a step back and witnessing how they use their own fire. But what are your thoughts? Has Kirk gone too far? Karlie tells the truth all along. What role does VH1 play in determining what to air and what to hide? Please share your thoughts in the comment area below.